Welcome everyone, welcome students, welcome to Devisami the Learning Channel. In this video lesson we are going to do a poem for class 10. Name of the poem is The Dust of Snow and the poet is Robert Frost. रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट के सारे पोएम्स में बहुत ही डीप मीनिंग होती है और ये पोएम भी शॉर्ट है, सिंपल है, लेकिन this poem has much deeper and larger meaning than how a smaller it looks. I can say this poem, this is a subject and topic for researchers. For decades, you can say, जब से ये पोएम लिखा गया है तब से इसके मीनिंग के ऊपर, इसके समरी के ऊपर कई सारे रिसर्चेज हुए हैं और अभी भी ये रिसर्चेज कंटिन्यूड हैं. Let us begin with the first stanza of this poem. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The poet was in a very sad mood, in a bad mood, and he was just randomly walking around. Often it happens when you are in depression or when you are grieved, you walk here and there just to reduce your tension or get some immediate relief. So poet was also in a bad mood and he was walking around randomly here and there, and while walking around he happens to pass by a hemlock tree. Hemlock tree, it is a poisonous tree. As the poet happens to pass by that hemlock tree, a crow sits on the branches and due to that act some snow dust falls on him. Some snow dust falls on the poet. Here it is not mentioned clearly that what was the crow doing there. He might be landing, he might be readjusting himself, might be shivering with the cold, or maybe any other action the crow was causing there. I have used his action, I have treated his action to be his act of sitting on the branch, and when he sits on the branch shakes little bit, and due to this act some dust particles fall on the poet. Now this stanza contains two specifically mentioned words. The first word is crow and second word is hemlock. Both of the words crow and hemlock both signifies sadness, bad omen. We all take them as negative things. As I explained at the very beginning of this poem, that poet was in a sad mood. It's nowhere written in the poem, but these two words signify or reveals that poet was in a sad mood. It reveals about poet's sadness because they signify negative things. Presence of these two words in the stanza signifies that poet was in a sad mood. We can say or we can understand it is just an art of poets or poem that words are not taken literally, but these words appear as a symbol and they signify, they reveal something else than their literal meaning. Also, the poem is set in a cold climate region. In those regions, snow, frost or darkness, these are the words which are used as agents by the poets in their poems, and they signify sadness. So here the snow dust, the crow, the hemlock tree, these all together signify, they represent that poet was in the sad mood there and in that day. Here begins the second stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. In the previous stanza, it revealed that the poet was in a very sad mood and having a terrible day and time. So these two lines at the beginning, has given my heart a change of mood, that is the act of crow and falling of dust changed and uplifted and improved the poet's mood instantly. He had already spent a big part of his day in a bad mood, but rest of it, the remaining part of the day, was saved. The poet turned positive and overcome his state of sadness and grief. Now the most important aspect of this poem is it relates to our positive negative attitude and thoughts, the prevalent prejudice in the society, and also the superstitious belief. Both, as I explained before, the hemlock tree as well as the crow, both are negative references. We or most of the people think of them as negative omen. But the poet Robert Frost, through his art of poetry, has used them so positively as an agent to bring happiness for him. The message of this poem is that we must have a positive approach towards everything. The nature may choose any agent, anything what is in nature, good or bad, whatever we think, but nature can use any of those agents to bring joy and bring happiness to all, any of us or all of us. Poets use literary devices in their poems. For example, rhyme scheme, alliteration, assonance, and enjambment. There are many, but the literary devices used in this poem that I am going to discuss about little bit. First, let us see the rhyme scheme of this poem. You can see first stanza at the screen. See the ending word of each line. First line ends crow. What is the same sound in this stanza? It matches with third line last word snow. Now let us suppose this crow and snow sound is A. Second line ends with me and fourth line ends with tree. Me and tree, these are same sound, similar sound. So let us name it B. Crow and snow, same sound, we named it A, and me and tree, same sound, so we named it B. So the rhyme scheme which comes out from this stanza is A, B, A, B. In the second stanza, the same pattern goes on, but here the sound of the end word of first line is different. It's heart, and line number 3 ending word is part. So it is not like A, it is not like B, it is a different sound. So let us name it C. Heart and part, they are sound C. Mood and rude, they are sound D. So rhyme scheme is CD, CD. The second kind of literary device used in this poem is alliteration. Alliteration means occurrence of same letter or same sound in a line. For example, has given my heart. Here first letter is H, first word first letter H, and H is repeated as the first letter of fourth word heart. So H and H repeats. This is alliteration. Similarly, in the third line, saved and some, S of saved and S at the beginning of some. Letters are same letter is repeated S. So this is again an example of alliteration literary device. When a vowel sound is repeated throughout a sentence, we call it prominent vowel sound, and this literary device is named assonance or assonance. Example of assonance used in this poem is shook down on me. Shook double O, down one O, on one O. So we see a vowel sound of O is prominent in this line. So we call it assonance. The next literary device to be used is enjambment. What is enjambment? When the same sentence continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation marks, then it is called enjambment. Throughout this poem, you can see the one line continues to the next line. It is also seen commonly, very commonly in Robert Frost's any poem. So this is an example. This full poem is an example of enjambment, where the same line continues without any punctuation marks into the next line.